We are talking winners and losers. In this video, we're going to talk about players, things that went right, get recognition. They are winners. Players, things that didn't work out so well, didn't play well, and they're going to be on my losers list. That's this video. But before we get into today's video, if you think it's a sound and smart idea to climb Mount Everest only wearing underwear, go ahead and subscribe to my channel because we talk all things Detroit Lions news and rumors, because sometimes being a Lions fan, you can get frostbite. Also, take that like button with it. That bad boy get frozen. Let's get into today's Lions winners and losers. Winner on my list here is rookie linebacker James Houston. He was balling for his debut, got 2 sacks and a fumble recovery, and he was, it's not too much against Josh Allen, big body, physical quarterback, mobile quarterback, and you get 2 sacks in this guy. Huge shout out to James Houston for a phenomenal debut. And I tell you what, as this season goes along and we're winding down, I want to see more of James Houston. I want to see this guy ball, because we need to know every player on this team that should be here next year. And from what I saw, I want to see him maybe in front of some other people, because his ceiling that he's shown is pretty good. And the way that he didn't over-pursue a mobile quarterback, something that, I tell you what, we don't have a whole lot on that team, because if you watch this season, a lot of over-pursuing that was taking place for the Lions defense. So give me your winner for this game. Name a winner. One player who you thought had a phenomenal game and deserve some recognition. Let's continue on with another winner here. Obviously, it's Amon Ra St. Brown. The Sun God just continues to be an absolute baller for our Detroit Lions in this game. 9 receptions, 122 yards, average of 13.6, 1 touchdown, long of 26 yards. But most importantly, the guy is always open, even though he's the main target for this football team. The Sun God just continues to be a valuable asset for this team. One of the best picks, value picks that we've had in some time. A 4th-round pick who is a #1 wide receiver, and his receptions are in big time and crucial downs as well. This guy has ice in his veins. I think if there's one person who can climb Mount Everest with wearing underwear and survive, it would be Amon Ra St. Brown. This guy has just been phenomenal. He's having a great season. He deserves to go to the Pro Bowl. He deserves consistent recognition because he's an absolute baller. This next player on my list almost didn't make this list. Why? Because he did have an issue with fumbling, but I got to give credit where credit is due. It's the special teams play that Kalif Raymond did there. Getting the ball back and bringing it to the 35 of the Bills was a big deal. He had 4 receptions, 35 yards, 8.8 average, a long of 13. And look, we're talking about a #5 wide receiver. That's kind of what you generally thought of Kalif Raymond, but he's stepping up, and he was the #2 in receptions for the Detroit Lions. Now, obviously, he had a case of the fumbleitis, and so that almost knocked him off this list. But I'm going to give some recognition to him because I like what he brings to this team, and that special teams play was pretty big. I felt like when Kalif Raymond brought that back, it was a momentum changer and resulted in a touchdown. So, when you can go on special teams and you're a multi-dimensional player and you're helping out the Lions in other ways, I think that's a pretty good thing going forward. I absolutely do. I like his value to the Lions, and I'm going to tell you, this may be a little bit controversial, and I really don't care. I would like the Lions to bring him back next year for sure. I like him to be on this team. I like him as a depth player. I don't care about his size. He's got that dog in him, and sometimes you gotta overlook the size of the player and understand the size on the field that he brings is balling. And just imagine when we get Jamison Williams on the field, he's going to be even more open with his speed. Folks, you know why you need to go to chatsports.com/LionsBet? Because I said the Lions would cover, and they sure did cover, and you would have won some money. So in the next upcoming games, don't worry about Legacy Media or Vegas if they say the Lions are an underdog by 9.5. That's probably not the case. So you can go to chatsports.com/LionsBet. That's BetUS. Put in the promo code Lions125, and you will get a 125% deposit bonus. Another winner on my list is Alex Anzalone. Now you say, Alex Anzalone? No way, man. Alex Anzalone here, he's not the biggest winner. His name is Alex Anzalone. I mean, that's just what it is. But honestly, he was kind of all over the field in this game. He had 9 total tackles, 7 solo. And considering that you're going against, again, a mobile quarterback, a guy who's very good, and he is the ability to distribute the football, I thought he did all right. The run game wasn't that insane for the Buffalo Bills. I mean, they had less than 100 yards in rushing there with Devin Singletary. Now, Josh Allen had his 78, but that's what you expect. But other than that, it wasn't too bad. And, of course, Alex Anzalone had that interception that was tipped by Malcolm Rodriguez in a big play and nearly had another one. So I'm going to give credit where credit is due. He has taken a lot of heat, justified, but you got to give credit sometimes. So shout out to Alex Anzalone for showing up in this game. I feel like the Lions coaching is getting the best out of him. How about the national audience, football fans? That's not just Detroit Lions or Buffalo Bills in this game. This was a good game on Thanksgiving. It was a good showing. A lot of fans, if you go into other groups, were really happy with how this game played out. Better than the Dallas Giants game. It was a fun game to people. A lot of risky plays on 4th down. You know, it almost went to overtime. So it was one of those games where the Lions didn't get blown out. They gave a good performance, and the national audience was very happy with that. Generally, that is a win for that, you know, if you're a fan of football itself, not just a Lions fan. Obviously, it sucked that we lost, but hey, you know, if you're a fan of the game, you had a winning on Thanksgiving. How about grit? I'm going to have that as a winner. Our coaching staff. Now, there's questionable play calls. No doubt about it. There's questionable. We had 2 timeouts left, all that. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about the players are really believing in being a physical football team, and that's coming from Dan Campbell and this coaching staff grit. It really is. These guys were playing the best to their ability. I think, personally, we got beat by a team that's more talented. We were just as physical, if not more. This team was fighting hard. They were absolutely a NFC North black and blue type of football team, and that's all I wanted to see from the Detroit Lions for many, many years. So, you know, watching them be feisty was awesome. I still have issues with play calling, and we're going to still have that until it's there. But this team believes in Dan Campbell. These players are fighting their freaking butts off. They definitely are. And that's #facts. Name a loser on this list. One player who you felt did not have a good game. That is the next group batch of players, is the players who did not play well. So we're going to go to them next. One of my first losers here is actually two people, and that's the Lions' 2 guards. Our backup guards. They were backups because of injuries. They played horrible in this game. It was booty cheeks. Good God. You know, Dan Skipper was a great, you're seeing him play sometimes this year. You're really happy with him, but boy, oh boy, both the guards played like butt in this game. And there's not a lot of good you can talk about it because Jared Goff was getting hit. The holes weren't opening up in the offensive line. Man, it really sucks to see. And I tell you what, it tells you the big difference between having guards that can play and guards that cannot play. And I tell you what, we just could not play well in this game for the guard position. It is what it is. It's backups. I'm not going to be extremely hard, but if you watch the game, you totally understand that that was a failure on multiple levels. I got to give a major loser to Will Harris. This guy's atrocious. Will Harris may be the worst defender that I have seen of all time. I don't know what it is, but he is absolutely booty cheeks. He's terrible. This guy can't guard nothing. I think we got, 6 more games left. We got to deal with Will Harris. I don't think he's a Detroit Lion next year. If he is, I'm going to be looking at Brad Holmes and shaking my finger, because this guy, I don't care what he brings off the field. He's terrible on the field. He's absolutely terrible. Will Harris has been an absolute bust of a draft pick that we drafted him with Quinn Trisha, and he's been a bust of a player, and he needs to get off this team as quick as possible. I don't want to see him out there anymore. I would rather have a fan be at safety position or a corner, wherever he's playing. Just doesn't need to be here anymore. He is really hurting this football team because he can't cover. He can't do anything. Just needs to go. Enough said there. Another loser on my list in this game was Austin Bryant. He played terrible. Good God. Austin Bryant, he had 2 tackles in this game. He had a quarterback hit with a 15-yard penalty so late, you're wondering, what is he on? Is he okay with drugs? But he played terrible in this game. In the last couple of weeks, he's been playing terrible. Keeps this up, he ain't going to be on this team much longer. Just like Will Harris, he's on his way on the outs. Austin Bryant was booty cheeks in this game. And it was terrible to watch if you're a Lions fan. It stunk because he played awful. Multiple losers on my list is the Lions run game. Good God, I don't know what happened here. Jamal Williams had 18 carries, 66 yards, 3.7 average, 1 touchdown, 1 fumble. Didn't help. The offensive line of guards was trash. DeAndre Swift, 5 carries for 19 yards, 3.8 average. Amon Ra St. Brown ran the football, but he's not a running back. Justin Jackson, 4 carries, 4 yards, 1 average. The Lions' run game was invisible in this game. It was non-existent. And, again, I think it does have to do with the offensive line. But still. And also, DeAndre Swift made a drop that potentially could have gotten us a touchdown. It was a really bad drop. Not so well in this game. And you need to see better from this team. You definitely do. If you ain't going to play better, we're in a world of hurt. You know, there's some players that played good. There's players that play bad. There's some mediocre players. All in all, I'm nitpicking on a lot of this, at least some of the bad there. I thought the Lions played a hell of a game. They played their heart out. A couple miscues resulted in a loss. When you're playing against a team like Buffalo, you can't make those mistakes. You just can't. But that's nitpicking, folks. And I'm proud of the team. They just got to get better. We got to get more talent. And, next year, I think this team will be competing for a playoff spot. With that said, folks, adios.